When we thought about the concept of the event, I think we started thinking about this already a year ago. We wanted to bring people together who don't naturally meet, but who we think should actually meet in order to increase financing for energy investments in the building sector. The infrastructure we are talking about here, the European housing stock, which provides shelter, which provides suitable places to work, which provides inspiring places to learn and study, deserves actually that high and a more effective investment.
We see how market mechanisms are going, how methodologies, which methodologies are existing to enable the market. And of course, what we are really proud of, for the first time we will have a kind of a marketplace.
So this is really a good opportunity to listen to the views of very significant market players on what could be done on the policy level and the market level to get this really taking off.
That's why we're here at this event. We're talking about how to get financing and cash flowing for our projects.
We need more energy efficiency financing if we're going to meet our 2020 objectives, which we have. If we're going to meet whatever objectives for 2030 the political process is soon going to set. And if we're going to do what we clearly must do by 2050, which is decarbonise the building stock.
What are the drivers that, if addressed, would move the whole market forward?
The EFID community, the largest collection of investors ever brought together in the world to talk about energy efficiency finance, all agreed on one thing. That was standardization was the number one driver for both supply and demand for energy efficiency finance.
The EFIC has been reconvened again for the next 2 years to help us and as well to together design a world in which energy efficiency investments would get better understood. Targets within the next 2 years are to develop a body of evidence that energy efficiency investments do have implications on the market, and those implications are positive. Secondly, to try together the design, the methods in which those data can be better understood and read by the finance industry and by the demanders when they are constructing their financing products and when they are constructing their projects.
We definitely need to work on the data. That's really the key work, the key word to have in mind.
What the policy side must do, we need to create a clear and predictable framework. We have to stimulate demand, but that's difficult. That's a matter of laws, that's a matter of incentives, that's a matter of more and better information in order to make people and companies aware of what kind of potentials they still can use. We should increase our cooperation, policy and market actors in order to improve the use of different kinds of financing products and different channels.
All of the politics are just right. They're desperate to do schemes like this. They're huge users of energy. There's lots of procurement frameworks. Everything's set up politically. But their actual structure at the moment, the market mechanisms, the people that need to make it happen, those things are really quite challenging at the moment.
So we've been working for the last 5 years, both in North America and in Europe, talking to investors, talking to owners, and asking them, what do you mean by standardization? What will it take? What are you asking for from the energy efficiency community that will give you the confidence to be able to invest?
When we request for proposal out to the world, we have a template that is supposed to standardize the process, and a lot of these things work to try to create a standard model for the U.S. companies to fulfill so that all the projects start to look the same. Much like the Investor Confidence Project, I believe, and FEMP believes, that if we can try to standardize the projects as much as possible, we remove the doubt, we remove the uncertainty.
The standardization process has to continue. This needs to be at the contractual level, the level of how these projects are implemented, and particularly how they're measured and verified. A, we need to do it. B, we really need to make it user-friendly. So particularly for the small to medium companies, this has to be something that doesn't block them from the market, but empowers them to enter the market, because that is when you get market growth.
We need a huge project pipeline. I want that to see develop in the next 5 years for technical retrofits, but even more for deep retrofits.
The cities have the capacities, and that's what we heard today, actually capacities to develop and bring projects to the market. And it's important that there is a knowledge exchanges taking place between the cities.
And a good project means that you have a technically viable project, so something that technology actually allows to deliver and to safely operate. Secondly, that you have an economically viable project.
We need to improve the policy framework. That's, I think, the most important level. We need new models and we need new instruments in order to address this.
Simple contracts, which are easy to understand, which have got standardized elements, probably lead to the ability to replicate easily, which is probably a better proxy to aggregation.
We are not at the institutional investment level right now. What we need to be doing right now is solving those problems that FIG pointed out for the energy efficiency community. We need to be proving the business case by developing hundreds and hundreds of projects at the project level right now.
We're quite positive at Amber over the next couple of years. I think there'll be more funds coming into play, maybe not the banks just yet, but plenty of finance, matching that with the private sector. We're quite positive to see, hopefully, a lot more energy efficiency over the coming couple of years.
We've seen success stories through the EFIG and its recommendations, which to my knowledge have been universally accepted. We've seen a consistency around all actors calling for regulatory stability, and I would add predictability, that because without that stability in this market, you can't ever hope to succeed in our ambitions. I felt that there was general agreement among the speakers on the points around the need for political drive. So the policy makers and our leaders need to be showing the way.
Success would be that there is much higher capacity on the ground to develop projects from the part of the public authorities all over Europe.